Let's talk about Trevor Etienne. A lot of people's number one running back in the portal. Uh, well, let's talk about it. He's really good. He's a younger brother of Travis Etienne. He's very good. And to prove that he's very good, he's there's a report from Mark Long that from the Associated Press that he's already down to his top three, and I'll give you his top three. All right, Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State. If that tells you anything about the type of player that we're dealing with, he's explosive. He's a good runner. He's not the biggest guy. Neither was Travis. Uh, but he's got that burst, which I think is very, very underappreciated at the running back position. You know, we would talk about big bruisers, right, and good running backs, but NFL success directly correlates to explosive run rate, right? You're looking at good guys like Dawson Etienne, right, and how he's a stud already early. Travis Etienne, Tony Pollard was really successful early because he had a high explosive run rate in college. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I I think he's a really good player. Do you have any preferences on where he goes or any thoughts on Trevor Etienne as a player?
It's a big loss for Georgia, I think.
Florida?
I'm sorry, yeah, Florida. My mind's on Georgia because we just did Leonard Humphreys, and to be honest, from what I'm seeing, it sounds like he's a Georgia lean right now. He mentioned those other schools, and obviously he would thrive there as well. He mentioned he wanted to be, or the rumor was he didn't want to really split carries, right? Like he was doing the past couple of years with Montreal Johnson there. But I think that helps him in the long term. Like your longevity in the running back position, like number of carries you have in college, it's hard to go and then get another 300, 400 more carries a year in the NFL. So I don't know. If I'm him, I would have stayed right where I was, or I would go get some NIL at Georgia or Ohio State with Trevon Henderson coming back, or Bama with all those stables of running backs they have. I think it helps if you have multiple running backs, and you can learn from those guys and also save your body for the NFL. But I love his game. I love his game. I thought Florida didn't use him enough. I like Montreal Johnson. I do. But I thought every time they gave the ball to Montreal Johnson, it was taking the ball out of Etienne's hands. And he's so good. Low center of gravity, mentioned it. Very explosive guy. I love his vision, his cut, his balance is just incredible. I love like when I look at like running backs, I love when they carry the ball. He's right up there with a lot of those elite players in the NFL for sure.
Yeah, and it's weird to look at, running back when you talk about splitting carries like that and trying to optimize your lifespan in the NFL. It is weird though because it's hard to get that second contract as a running back, right? So if you can optimize your collegiate play, right, and get drafted as high as possible,
Rookie
that
deal.
first contract, depending on where you go, might be the biggest contract that you get, right? And also if you enter in the portal, right, and you can maximize your NIL, like I think it helps a lot of running backs, I think, in that aspect. But we'll see. Yeah, I think he's probably the day one starter wherever he goes. Like at Ohio State, I don't think Henderson hasn't said if he's coming back, right? Like he hasn't officially said it.
I thought that was let me look it up. I thought that was the rumor.
I think it's a rumor, but I don't think he's officially said that yet. I think he'd be a really good fit at Alabama, right? And we saw what they did with Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he would split more carries if he was at Georgia than he would at Alabama, if that's crazy to think.
Yep.
Because I think he would start, he'd be the three down back probably. And I think Roydell would maybe come in, like for shifts, quote unquote. I mean, Jam Miller's a pretty good running back too, but um, I still think Trevor Etienne would get the majority. He wouldn't be the cowbell. He never will be a cowbell in his career, and he doesn't have to be because that actually, if you're going to maximize Trevor Etienne, it is just giving him the ball in space because he is electric in space. Electric in space. So, but yeah, I think any of these places would be pretty solid for him. I mean, all those offensive lines are going to be really good next year. It is nice he'll be running behind a better offensive line for sure, especially if he goes like Georgia. Actually, Alabama's offensive line is going to be pretty nasty next year too. And Ohio State's to some degree, probably not on the level as Alabama and Georgia, but we'll see.
The reality of some of these high profile transfers, which Etienne but don't make no mistakes about it. He's in one of those, like, wherever you go, you're gonna be probably in a pretty good position to succeed at. And so wherever he goes, I think he'll be fine. Henderson, it sounds like he's coming back. You mentioned where Georgia splitting carries. People forget about Branson Robinson, right? Like he's a guy they're super, super high on. Now we'll see how he returns from injury. He's been out all year, patella tendon injury. He has some turf toe as well. Like or in spring, but they had big patella tendon injury in August. And so like those guys, like it's gonna be hard to keep him off the field and Etienne as well. So like it's gonna be a crowded running back room kind of wherever he goes. But you saw that with like Bama when Gibbs transferred in. There was a lot of good running backs in that room, and he just got most of the carries, and like he was awesome. And obviously, you saw that in the NFL what he's doing right now. Proves that point. But yeah, I like him anywhere he ends up at for sure.
Hey guys, MD here. Just here to invite you to the Redshirt Sophomore College Football Bowl pool. The link to join will be in the description down below. The winner, what do they get? A chance to be a guest on the Redshirt Sophomore podcast, of course. But to qualify for that, you got to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. So make sure you click that subscribe button down below. When you sign up, all you got to do is just pick a team, right? See here at Miami, Ohio versus App State. This example selected Miami, and they have 12 confidence points on it. I'm going to rate these games 1 to 43, and it's going to be a blast. I can't wait to have you guys on. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Thank you.